Okay, well, actually, it wasn't my children that interrupted. It was my husband. I forgot to put the phone on Do Not Disturb. So let's see where we were. Back to science was my best performance. Science was my best performance of the day. Miss Jang was explaining about the speed of light, and she said, I'm going back a little bit, since the sun is 93 million miles away, and since light travels at 186,000 miles per second, if the sun went out right now, we would still have another 7 minutes of sunlight. The light traveling from the sun to the earth takes 7 minutes to pass through that much space, which was interesting and quite true. But then she said, nothing travels faster than light. And an idea popped into my mind. I raised my hand, and when Miss Chang nodded at me, I said, but what about thought? If you say the word sun, my thought can travel all the way across that 93 million miles to the sun and all the way back again in about 1 second. And since there are 420 seconds in 7 minutes, doesn't that mean that thought actually travels 840 times faster than light? Miss Jang made a strange face as she tried to get her mind around that idea, and then she shook her head. She said, but thought isn't like light. Light is real. You can see it. You can't see thought. I said, are you saying that a light wave or a light particle is more real than a thought is? Miss Jang said, well, no, not exactly. And I said, so are you saying that my thought can't travel that far that fast? How about if I say Alpha Centauri? See, my thought has already traveled out into space, all the way to that star and all the way back again, and light would take almost 9 years to make a round trip to Alpha Centauri. Unless you can prove that my thought didn't just go all the way there and back, and then I'm sticking with my theory. Thought travels at least 840 times faster than light. And all around the room, kids were nodding their heads, agreeing with me. Now, if Miss Jang had said, nothing material travels faster than light, then she would have had me, and we could have talked for a while about the difference between physics and metaphysics, but she didn't take her thinking that far. Like I said, I was obnoxious all day Thursday, a real know-it-all. When I went to the library after school, Miss Burns smiled and nodded at me when I came in, but instead of motioning me to come and talk, she quickly turned away to do some other work, which was probably the smart thing to do. She had apparently decided to keep clear of me for a while. Stephen came in a little after I did and sat at the opposite end of my study table. Well, I whispered, was I horrible enough? He grinned at me. You were fantastically awful. Every kid is talking about you, and probably all the teachers too. I bet they're in the teacher's room right now swapping Nora stories. It was the perfect setup. Perfect. Because that was the idea. Thursday was the setup day, the day to build up some expectations. Then we had some important events on Friday, and the big payoff would come on Monday, and probably Tuesday too. Our plan was in motion.